Hi focus friends, in this video I am going to share with you one of my favorite success hacks. It takes very little time to implement, is massively effective, and it's one of the most underused. ADDers are just lazy. In this video, I'm gonna tell you how you can use laziness to achieve your goals. We'll do this by leveraging a concept in Atomic Habits called the law of least effort, which states that when deciding between two similar options, people will naturally gravitate toward the option that requires the least amount of work. So in applying the law of least effort, we want to make our desired behavior or goal easier to do, and we want to make undesired behaviors harder to do. In this video, I want to focus on the second half of that equation, making undesired behaviors harder to do, because that is an area where you get massive gains. It's very quick and easy to do, and importantly, it's often the most overlooked. It's an area that people don't actually invest time on, and thus unknowingly sabotage their goals. So in a little bit, I'm going to give you concrete examples of how you can apply this strategy on common goals. But first, let me give you an example contrasting scenario 1 versus scenario 2 so you understand the concept of what we're talking about here. So let's say you're trying to eat healthier. So for instance, when you go for a snack, you'd rather have a protein bar than sugary sweets. Now in the traditional goal achievement way, you might put all sorts of reminders on your mirror or your pantry, pictures around your house of really fit people, other ways to kind of increase your motivation on this goal. But most people forget to include this other half of the equation of making undesired behaviors harder to do. So here's the normal scenario. You're hungry and you open the pantry and your eyes scan for a protein bar. The first thing you see are some potato chips, some crackers, and other tasty processed treats. You then bend down to look for the protein bars, and there you spot them near the back of the second to last shelf. On the way to grab it, you reach past some sugary cereals and sugary drinks, and voila! Protein bar. Here's how it would look if you were following the laziness approach of making undesired behaviors harder to do. You open the pantry and scan to see if anything catches your eye that looks good. However, you don't see any temptations. All you see are protein bars, which are eye level and the first thing that you can easily grab. Now, if you kneel down, you will see some chips and some crackers near the back of the bottom to second to bottom shelf where the protein bars were in the first scenario. And you can't even find sweets because you've moved them to their own special cabinet. So that's the gist of the strategy. The reason that it's so important is because we humans are really easily triggered by things, even when they're outside of our conscious awareness. So James Clear in Atomic Habits talks about how in 33 milliseconds flashing an image of cocaine to an addict, where their conscious mind doesn't even register that they've seen it, triggers a release of dopamine in their system, which has them craving it. Likewise, when you see your TV or video games, or you see that beautiful bottle of alcohol proudly displayed on the counter, and you're debating if you want to do work or exercise, and you have those options staring at you, even if you're not consciously considering them, you're being triggered to want them. So let me share some practical examples about how you can apply this laziness strategy to start achieving more of what you want in your life. So I used this strategy back in July when I did a 21-day no alcohol challenge. I gathered up all the wine, all the beer, all the bottles of liquor, and got them out of view. I took the majority of it down to a storage locker in the basement of our apartment building and put a box with some of the stuff that was less tempting and that I didn't like as much just in my front storage closet. Other examples, if you want to work without distraction or you want to socialize without distraction, right? Like you're with a friend and you want to just give them your full attention, eliminate the biggest temptation. Put this sucker on silent or airplane mode, and as Dr. Benjamin Hardy recommends, put it out of sight even out of the room. You don't want it on your person because then you're still feeling it and it's kind of still burning a hole in your pocket. Another phone example, remove shortcuts to applications from your home screen. So I know that I compulsively like to check email, and so I got rid of my email shortcuts on my phone. To get there, I need to open up the app tray and I need to go through the apps and find my email app. In a previous video, I shared about how I got addicted to TV and at one point was watching like 30 or 40 hours a week of like different NFL and sports related talk shows and other shows. So the way that I broke that addiction was I literally unplugged my TV and took it out of view. So in my case, I carried it into another room and faced it up against the wall. If that's not an option, you could unplug it and cover it with a sheet. Or you could take the batteries out of the remote control and store them in another room. So a few other examples on the finance side, if you know that there's certain catalogs or email solicitations where you overspend, you can unsubscribe from them. You could also use some of the systems which take money and savings from your account before you ever see it so that you're not triggered by the money in your account to want to spend it. If you're looking to improve your self-image, you can take down posters or other things that joke about your laziness. You can unsubscribe from social media accounts that trigger jealousy in you. And another food one that I use a lot is just ask the waiter not to bring bread to the table. Once the bread's there, I'm useless. So that's the laziness strategy where you can use your own laziness that you're not going to want to make the extra effort to do those undesired behaviors. You can use that to your advantage. So make undesired behaviors harder and you'll eliminate one of the biggest sources of self-sabotage and of goal failure. So what do you think? Have you used this strategy before? Do you see somewhere that you could use this strategy? Let me know in the comments below. I'm interested to hear. And if you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the community. I've got some ADD IRL videos coming out about how I use this approach in my own life, where I'll actually film examples from my own personal life to be able to really illustrate these concepts and how I apply them in real life. So subscribe and click the bell so that you don't miss that and the other stuff I've got coming out. Bye, focus friends. See you in the next video.